From the King George's Estates in downtown Port St. Lucie, Florida, good Thursday evening, everybody, and welcome back to KC in 60 right here on DARPATV.com. Kevin Canessa here with you for the next hour, and to all of our regulars, I welcome you back to the program, and to anybody who may be here for the first time, I welcome you to the program for the first time as well. And before I get into what I wanted to lead off with today, I certainly hope that each and every one of you who are up in the Northeast and all of our friends in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut are doing okay. I understand and watched some on my cell phone today, some of the news from Channel 4, and boy, was that not pretty, seeing what you guys were going through today. So I hope everybody is safe, and I certainly hope everybody is warm. And the worst part is that, as Bertika just said in the chat room, it's not even over yet. There is more to come. So I just hope everybody is safe and everybody is okay up in the Northeast. Now, interestingly enough, we had a weather problem of our own today here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It was an entirely windy day today, and for most of the day I was without power. And I'm not complaining, because what you're going through up in the Northeast is totally much worse than what I went through today, but you don't realize how much you rely on electricity until you don't have it for almost an entire day. Luckily, it was cool out and there was a beautiful breeze, so we didn't have to worry about not having the air conditioner, and I'm sure you're all crying hysterically knowing that I didn't have air conditioning today, given what you all went through, of course, but couldn't do too much, there's just so little you can do. And I was lucky to at least be able to keep some sense of normalcy with a cell phone and having a connection that way. And fortunately, it was at 100% when the power went out, and then when it finally came back, it was later on in the afternoon. So it was pretty much a wasted day because of the fact that the power was out. And it's weird because it's supposed to be very hurricane proof here. This is, after all, central South Florida, and it's amazing. It just needs to be like 5 miles an hour, the wind. And for some reason, on the grid that we're on, I don't know why, this has been happening quite a bit, but we lose power. We lose it at least once a month. And we've lost it in the last 2 days, and then before that, too. So that's my little weather statement for the day. But again, to all of you up in the Northeast, I do hope that everybody is okay and that you find a way to remain warm tonight and that you don't dare go out in all of this. Now, I want to start off the program with somewhat of a downer. I apologize to all of you for that, but yesterday I was sitting around and I got a text from my friend Sean McDonald. And in the text he says to me, Harrison Mayor Ray McDonough dropped dead of a heart attack today in his office. And the minute I read that, I've lost a couple of people in the last couple of weeks. It's been pretty depressing when I think about it. But when I got this text message, it really, really ate away at me, because I'd known Ray McDonough since 1992, so I'd known him for 22 years. He was a councilman in Harrison for a very long time, and he was also the mayor from 1995 until yesterday when he died. And I see in the chat room that it's some people saying that the video might be choppy. Yes, we have had pretty bad speeds in the last, I would say, couple of hours since the power came back on. And that's partly because of the weather here. Whenever the weather is bad, it happens with Comcast, so I apologize for that. There's really nothing else I can do, so it is kind of what it is. Occasionally it would probably help to run a refresh every so often, but at any rate, I got this message about Ray dying, and the crazy part was that it was just a couple of hours before he died that he was on News 12 New Jersey talking about snow removal. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try it nonetheless.
Harrison Mayor Raymond McDonough suffered a massive heart attack today and died at Town Hall this afternoon.
What happened after a lunch meeting when McDonough collapsed. McDonough was a lifelong Harrison resident. He was first elected mayor in 1995 after serving 17 years on town council. We just interviewed him last night about the town's snow removal efforts. Mayor McDonough was 64.
This is a guy who was so good to me over the years, and I can't even begin to tell you. I wrote a reflection about it today, and I remember I knew him back in '92. I was just a high school senior, and I was covering his town. He was still a councilman at the time. But then a year later, I left and went up to Rhode Island for college. And when I came back to West Hudson County to be the editor of the Observer newspaper in 2006, the first week I was there, I decided that I would go back and visit him because I hadn't seen him in a really long time, and I figured I would be a good opportunity to reintroduce myself to him. And the minute I walked into the town hall, he was just happened to be in the same corridor, and he saw me, and he screamed my name and called me over. We went up into his office, and we spoke for about an hour, and not once did we talk about politics. It was all about life and how everybody was doing. And this is a guy who was not afraid to ruffle feathers. He endorsed Chris Christie for governor in a town that is 92% Democrat. And this guy is responsible for a lot of things, including something that some of you may be fully aware of, but not necessarily know that he was responsible for it. But a lot of you know that in Harrison, New Jersey, where he was the mayor for all these years, the New York Red Bull play their soccer games in Harrison, New Jersey, directly across the street from the Harrison Path Station. And I can say without reservation that if it weren't for Ray McDonough making a huge push to get that stadium built in Harrison, they would be still playing in Giant Stadium or maybe someplace else. He was almost single-handedly responsible for the Red Bull building the arena, the Red Bull Arena in Harrison. And he worked so hard day and night to get that stadium built because there were a lot of people who were opposed to it. I still don't understand why anyone would be opposed to having, I guess from a traffic standpoint, I could certainly understand because it's on a tiny road, and that was always what people complained about, but it's a beautiful stadium, and Timmy and Radzilla just said it, Timmy said it, it's a great place to watch a match too. It's got a very European small field feel to it. It's only, I think, about 25,000 seats in it. And he was single-handedly responsible for getting it done when they were looking in all different locations to decide where they wanted to build. And they had been wanting to build for a long time, going back to the years when they were the Metro Stars. They didn't want to play at not Yankee Stadium. They did not want to play at Giant Stadium because it was just simply too big a place for soccer games. We're talking about 78,000 people that fit in Giant Stadium, and too often they always had to put the tarp on the upper tier because there were just not enough people who would go, and it just looked awful. So Ray had a really big hand in that, and there's a lot of other things too that he had to do in the town. He also built the town's first hotel, which is just a magnificent place along Passaic Avenue, just on the border of Newark. It certainly houses a lot of people who go to these games, and sometimes the hockey teams who come in for the Prudential Center stay at the place. He's responsible for all the massive rebuilding in this town. If you've ever seen this, if you ever knew Harrison before these things were happening, it was just a very boring, plain town that basically had nothing to offer but some really good restaurants. And he really put his mark on the place. There's beautiful condominiums now. It's a place where I wouldn't mind raising my family if I had one, or living. That's how nice it is and how much it's changed over the last 10 years or so. And he was the responsible factor. And when I tell you that this is a guy who treated me like I was his own kid, like I was his own son, I can't tell you enough. It was just remarkable. He always treated me like I was own. And whenever something was happening, whether it was something new about the stadium or the fact that he was getting a new PATH train station, anything like that, he would always call me into the office before the general public would get the knowledge, sometimes before some of his members of council would find out about it, and he'd give me the heads up, so that would be the first one to get that information out in the newspaper. And Timmy's saying that Path Station is awful after a game, and that's part of the reason why they're rebuilding it. You know, it's going to be much bigger. It's going to be much more spacious. It's one of the oldest unchanged stations in the entire fleet, in the entire route of the Path system. You know, it's basically been the same thing. You would, if any of you have ever seen you may not have ever knowingly seen the Harrison Path Station, but you've seen it when there are videos of Bobby Kennedy's funeral, when passing through Penn Station, and you see people standing along the platform right after he went through Newark, or just before Newark. I forget exactly what it was or what direction it went in, but at any rate, people standing on the platform waiting for Bobby's casket to pass by. He was certainly, that was Harrison, so you see part of it during the entire stretch. So I wanted to start off by paying tribute to my friend Ray McDonough, who is dead at the age of 65. He lived a great life. He did many wonderful, wonderful things for the people of Harrison and Hudson County, and he is somebody who I can say I personally will miss a great deal. It's 11 minutes past the hour, and in a few minutes we're going to talk to Timmy Gillette, if he still wants to, about, not just yet though, but about the United States 7-1 victory over Slovakia today. An absolute killing. It was just remarkable. So what I'm going to do, Timmy, is I'm going to throw on the highlights so people can see what happened in the course of this drubbing over in Sochi. And then when it's over, it's about 2 minutes long, let's connect and discuss this game, this 7-1 victory from the United States. And, you know, listen, they're in a really tough group, with Russia being in that group. But I can't wait. I mean, they play Russia 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning, and that's when I'm going to get up for. But look at this. Here it is, a 7-1 victory by the United States this morning in the first round of Olympic play. Take a look at these highlights.
They try to bank it back in, but no luck there for Bartovich. Brought back ahead by Kessel. Dropped on. Oh, and a scorcher score! Firing it up high and into the net is John Carlson. It's 1-0.
Eddie, you talked about speed to the outside and playing outside the dots. Kessel goes outside the dots and puts it back to the inside part.
Played back up, and it is Marian Hossa giving it on across. Here's Tatar. Nice moves. Shoots one, they rang it in! Tatar! It's tied! Milan Jurčina, former Boston Bruin, steps into his man, but the puck can be played by Kane, and a ripper score! Kessler! 2-1! Vitorene able to play one along and then follow it up, and then it's lost. Carried on now by Callahan. Fed across to Petre. Rebound. Score! Stastny! 10 to go on the power play. 2 shots by Team USA so far. Kessel tried one, stymied by Hanzus. Kessel able to play it off the boards and look over the traffic. His shot is blocked out. Another shot saved by Hala. A scramble in front. They try to poke away at it. It ricocheted off Chara. Popping up high. They score! And it counts! The penalty was over. The goal is scored, and it becomes 4-1 Team USA. Comes back over near Marcel Hossa, played along. Team USA trying to take some of the heat off, but now we have an injured player. It's Marcinko. Meanwhile, on back, play continues. Thrown in front, Stastny scores! 2 goals for Stastny. Backus with 1, Kessler with 1, Carlson with 1, and the lone goal was a flashy one by Thomas Tatar. Van Riemsdyk a shot. They score! It is now 6. Kane watched tightly there. Patrick Kane just across through Carlson off the boards. Fed one. Score! Dustin Brown. It is 7. Sakara in the last 7. Some chanting of USA, USA. Tatar has the last play. Final score in the game. Team USA 7. Slovakia 1.
So there are the highlights. 7-1. The United States beat Slovakia. Just 2 things before I get to Timmy. First, a special welcome to my high school classmate, Chris Fitzpatrick, who is the biggest Detroit sports fan I have ever known. The Tigers, the Pistons, and the Red Wings. Always good to see Chris. Thank you so much for coming by. And yes, Mawa, Peter Stastny, who actually played for the New Jersey Devils for a couple of years, his son was born, I believe he might have actually been born in New Jersey, actually, because Peter was here, I think, when he had Paul as a child. So let's go up to Virginia, where Timmy Gillette is hanging out. Timmy is like the resident hockey expert, and he's got the USA jersey on, too, right?
Yeah, this is the old school jersey from the 2002 Olympic campaign.
Oh, my God. We're going so far back here to 12 years ago. Can we see the crest? I forget what it looks like.
Sure.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. Thank you. So how you doing, Tim?
Yeah, this crest here.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm doing well. It's snowy out here. We got about 16 inches so far, and it's still coming down. Forecast to have about another 2 to 4 before it's all said and done.
Wow. I think we're working on a little delay, so I promise to try not to step on you. But I know you said you watched this game today. I didn't get to see anything but the highlights, and to me it looked like it was just very, very tilted game. But was the score as close as it was, or what was the deal with this game today, U.S. and Slovakia?
Well, the issue was, actually, first to start off, luckily our office was closed due to the snow, so I got to watch the game live. And what ended up happening was the U.S. scored 6 goals in the second period, which really broke the game open. And for some reason in the second period, Slovakia couldn't possess the puck at all. And the U.S., they were rolling their 4 lines, and they were just clicking. Halak let in a couple of soft goals, and before you blinked, it was 7-1, and we're heading to the end of the second period.
Did Jonathan Quick have anything really to worry about? Was he peppered at all, or was this just one of those games where he got to kind of sit back and watch his team at the other end most of the game?
Beginning of the second period, so the U.S. had a 1-0 lead going into the second, and Tomas Tatar from the Detroit Red Wings came out and scored a quick goal within the first minute. So things looked like it was going to get a little tight, and then the U.S. turned around and scored another goal within the next minute, and then added another goal a minute later. So that left some of a cushion. Slovakia started to generate some offense in the third period. However, the game was already well in doubt, and it really wasn't much of a game at all by that point.
One other question about Jonathan Quick. Not that I want to put any much pressure on you about Quick, but as you know, I'm not a big fan of his. Going back to 2012, I mean, he's a fantastic goaltender, obviously, but was the decision to start Quick over Ryan Miller the right decision, or does it not matter at this point because it was such a one-sided game? And will he play the majority of games, do you think, now that he started this first game here?
Well, I know the Canadians have come out and they said that they were going to start Carey Price today, and then they were going to go turn around and start Roberto Luongo in their second game. Danny Blyesman has been very secretive with his goalie plans. So he, at the press conference after today's game, he said, "I'm not answering that question," which leads you to believe that we could see a Ryan Miller sighting.
Yeah, and for some reason, Billy's saying that he thinks Miller's playing Saturday against Russia. So maybe this isn't all just one thing about, maybe it's not all Jonathan Quick. One other question about this kid, Tatar, if I'm saying it right. Chris Fitzpatrick, my high school classmate, says this kid's going to be the real deal. Do you know much about this Tatar here?
I do know that he's gotten a lot of playing time with the Red Wings. I believe he was called up due to all their injuries that they've had throughout this year. He won a championship with their farm team in Grand Rapids last year at the AHL level. So, and he really was the best player for Slovakia on the ice today. So I definitely believe that he's going to be a star. I'm not sure of his age exactly, but I think he's only 20, maybe 21 at tops.
Still a baby. Now, Saturday, this game against Russia. This is probably the test for the United States this entire Olympics. I think the toughest tests they're going to have in the entire first round, obviously, but maybe throughout the entire Olympics. What do you expect out of this game come Saturday morning?
I expect not to see a 7-1 scoreline. That's a definite. The Russians came out a little flat this morning against the Slovenian team. Slovenia only has one NHL star. That's Anze Kopitar from the LA Kings. I believe at the end of the second period, it was 3-2 in favor of Russia, and they got a couple of goals in the third period to win 5-2. I believe that I wouldn't be surprised if Bobrovsky from the Columbus Blue Jackets starts. Semyon Varlamov got the start this afternoon. So I'm going to expect a close game. The U.S.'s young defense is going to be definitely tested more.
Absolutely. What do you got going on in your? Do you have like a TV on in the background or something? I keep seeing like flashes of light or something.
Yeah. I can turn that off.
No, it's not a distraction. I just wasn't sure what it was. I wasn't sure if maybe the police were outside looking to arrest you for something. I mean, not that you'd be arrested, but it looked like flashing, flashing lights out there. I was wondering what it was. So.
I don't think the police can even get here if they wanted to be honest.
It's really that bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there was about 16 inches, and it's interesting when you go out and you walk a dachshund in that snow.
Could you find him after a while? I mean, is he just buried in it or what? Jesus.
She was hopping through the snowdrifts there. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I mean, here I am bitching and complaining because the electricity was out. Yeah, I mean, how unfair that is me on my end. I'm so sorry. I really feel like such a jerk sitting here complaining about it because it was like 68 degrees and we had no air conditioning. So, cry me a river, right, Timmy? Jesus.
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
I mean, it's no big deal. Hopefully the office will be closed.
Yeah, you're looking at another snow day here or what?
Well, it's kind of like the scenario back in Jersey where, New York City gets lesser amounts than, say, Morristown and Sussex out by where your mom lives. So I'm thinking that I could probably work from home, just being the fact that I'm out here a little further west and probably got hit a lot more.
Yeah, some crazy stuff. Timmy, I enjoyed. Any time I get a chance to speak with you, I always enjoy it, and especially when we get to talk about hockey. And you and I are going to be co-hosting very, very soon, I hope, right? For like a full hour?
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do it soon, buddy. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Timmy.
All right, you're welcome. Take care, buddy.
All right, brother. That's Timmy Gillette in Virginia, and let's go a little further north to Mawa, who's got a show coming up tonight. Hello, Mawa.
How are you doing, Ken? How's everybody?
Oh, how you doing? Everything okay up there in Sussex County?
Yeah, we have a little break right now with the snow, but it's going to be coming down again.
Yeah,
some more.
Yeah, my mother couldn't go to work today again. She lives up in Newton, so she's a little further north than you, I think.
Yes.
Right, so she couldn't go.
No, she's south from me.
She's south of you, okay.
She's southwest, yeah.
Southwest, okay. She works in Butler, and she said that there was no way she was getting in a car. So that was, like, she wasn't being melodramatic, right? It was that bad.
No, actually, my husband left this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning just to beat the first snow coming down, and he actually was prepared to stay over in a hotel in the area of West Caldwell, New Jersey.
Yeah.
But he is a trooper. He was able to get back home and safely. But kids are off from school today and tomorrow, so 2 less days of indoctrination.
I know that makes you a happy woman. So what do you got?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got coming up on USA Feed Live tonight?
We're going to take a break from core education, and we're just going to have a leisure show, just talk about anything and everything, the weather, and whatever that's new. And your previous guest was showing off his shirt. I want to show off my shawl, which is from the World Championship in Slovakia. That was, I think, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think last year in a town nearby me. Okay, there you go.
Look at that.
I love hockey.
I didn't really.
Yep.
Well, I thought whenever I used to talk about hockey going back 3 or 4 years ago, you used to tune out. I thought you didn't like hockey.
No. I do like hockey.
So it must have been
It's just,
baseball.
Yeah, baseball and golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I remember.
boring games.
You know what? I'm sorry, I'm wrong, because I remember we used to talk about Patrick Eliáš, who is from the Czech Republic. So
Yes.
that's right. Okay,
Yes.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I'm from Slovakia.
no.
Although the spellings, not spellings, but the pronunciation of the names, the Tatar. That's the pronunciation, Tatar.
Tatar.
And the other one, Tatar, and the other one was Šťastný. You pronounced it different. What was the other one's name? Quickly, just throw it at
Well,
me.
what about Eliáš? Is it Eliáš?
Eliáš is Eliáš.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, who was the?
And there was one more that somebody put it on a forum. I mean, on a chat room. Try to scroll it and find it, but I don't see it.
Oh, it was I think Timmy might have said it too when he was on the air. The goaltender, and now of course I can't remember who it was. And I'm looking.
Oh, Halak? Oh, Halak.
Halak? Is that how you say
Halak, yes. Halak. The last A is long. Halak.
it? Halak. Okay. Now
There we go.
Bertika and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about how great your video is and how clear your audio is. What are you using? Just your iPhone or iPod Buds right there with the microphone on it?
Yeah, yes. Those are the, little from the old phone or something. I just inherited from my kids.
Man, it sounds like you're in this room with me. That's how clear your audio is. It's so good.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Wow. So,
I was listening to the other shows. I think it was Watson and Watson, and they had some issues with the audio, and they had all this equipment set up on a table. Guys, go simple, please.
really, I mean, I have a mixer too, but I know how to use the damn thing. But the problem is that everybody keeps putting either their knobs are up way too high or they're way too low. So it's one or the other. And when I was listening to them too, it sounded like this the whole show. So
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. And it's annoying. I had to tune out. I had to get out because it was very difficult to listen to something like that.
Yep. And remember too that video that I did where you said please turn the music down on that one. I didn't realize why it was so loud. I was listening to it on my speakers, but when I had the headphones on and that played, I jumped. I didn't realize it was.
You could understand what I was talking
Oh
about.
yeah, oh yeah, because it was because I didn't have the headphones on though that I didn't notice it the first time. So I'm gonna take that thing down and I'm gonna redo it for you. I'm sorry. You were 100% right.
Thank you.
It's people are gonna lose their hearing with that. So, so what? So the show's what? 8 o'clock right after this? Is that right? Or
8 to 9.
we want everybody to tune in to watch Mawa because she puts on a fantastic show. She takes a lot of time to prepare for these shows, and I want to see her audience continue to grow. So please watch her show tonight, would you please? And Mawa, I always appreciate when you come by, and I don't say it enough, but I'm always grateful for when you come by and watch the show. Thank you.
Well, I send you a box of chocolates for that.
No, we did not prearrange that, so I promise.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, hey, one more.
All right, take care.
Before you go, let me ask you
Yeah.
one. You said you're using Secure Haze, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I got to find you on Secure Haze because I'm on there too. So we have to become buddies.
Well, you can't because I made myself unavailable to a global search.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find you because I was searching all over the place for you. Okay.
Which is, by the way, an excellent feature.
Yeah.
It's an excellent feature.
It is. That's the whole point of being secure, so people can't find you, right? I mean, that's the part of the idea.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, we'll see you in about
Kevin.
see you in a half hour, Mama. Thanks. Okay.
All right.
There she is, the great Marwa. She's been here since day one. She is wonderful. And Bill Scarterfield is in the chat room breaking some news for us. Jim Fregosi, dead of a stroke. Wow. Holy cow. Jim Fregosi, dead of a stroke. I would imagine he was probably in his 60s. And Jim Fregosi, of course, is the answer to a very, very big trivia question in the history of the New York Metropolitans, and that is, who did the Mets get in return for Nolan Ryan? But there he is, Jim Fregosi, dead at the age of 63. Good God. I mean, this is happening way too much over the last couple of weeks for me. You know, between my friend Janet going and now this, and ay. So, Thank you for telling us that news, Billy. Jim Fregosi, dead at 63. It's 30 minutes past the hour, and I want to tell you really quick about Secure Haze. Guys, if you take a look on this screen that you're looking at right now, to the left and to the right, you'll see these banner ads, and they are for Secure Haze. And I think most of you are pretty familiar with either Skype or Uvu, or use some kind of communications application, whether it's on your computer, your laptop, or your smartphone, to have a video chat with somebody. Maybe it's FaceTime, or to have an audio chat with somebody, to send an IM, or to send some files. Well, let me tell you this. Secure Haze is the best one out there, and it continues to grow and get better and better by the day. And I'm going to tell you why it's the only one that I will use to make my video calls now to my mother up in North Jersey, and that is because it has 2048-bit encryption. And you're saying to yourself, okay, genius, what does 2048-bit encryption mean? It basically means that there is no way that 20 of the best hackers in the world together, combined with all their brain power, could ever interfere, cut in, and hack my conversation with my mother or with anybody that I'm having that has Secure Haze and who has security. It is that strong of an encryption policy that's been placed in there. With something like Skype, there's something called the backdoor where they can get in. The encryption is either minimal or non-existent, and the government, the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, no matter what it is, can snoop on your calls, no matter what you're doing. With Secure Haze, it is not going to happen. It's only $9.95 a month to have this security, and you can continue to talk to people and be without any fear whatsoever that somebody is snooping in on your conversations or your IMs, or if you want to send a file. So do me a favor, click on that banner to my left or to my right that says securehaze.com. Take a look at it, get a chance, download it, give it a try on your computer, whether you have a Mac or a PC, on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. And if it's something you seem to like, let me know, and I will certainly invite you to be my friend, and we'll get you some free time so that you can try it out. That's right. Give it a shot right now. That is www.securehaze.com. And without Secure Haze, there's no KC60, there's no DARPA TV. So give it a chance today. 32 past the hour. I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Derek Jeter's retirement. And perhaps I'm not going to say all the things that Yankee fans want to hear me say, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. You're watching KC60 on DARPA TV. Don't go away, because we will be right back. Hey everybody, it's Kevin Canessa here from KC60 here on DARPATV.com, and I want to tell you a little bit about a wrong group of commercials. I just said all that needed to be said in that. What's up everybody, Kevin Canessa here to show you how easy it is to get yourself on the air using a webcam, a microphone, and headphones here on DARPA TV. The first thing you'll notice under the white screen, which would normally be the show, is a set of lips. In order to get on the air, you need to click those lips, and that's what I did. You'll notice this little box comes up where you have to put in your username and password, which is exactly what I'm doing. If you don't have one already, just click the register button and you can get one. Once you log in, you click the lips again, and this box comes up. There's some choices here. Built-in eyesight, the first choice is where all your cameras are going to be that you have on your computer. You have to choose the one you want to use. Then, underneath, there's another set of dialogues, which is the microphone that you want to use. You choose the one that you want to use there. Now, once you're done, click the test button, and this dialog box will come up. You have to click allow to allow it to access your camera, which is what I'm going to do. And you'll notice that I am now on the screen. Can you see me there? That's because I chose the right camera. And if you can hear yourself coming back to you when you speak, like a half a second delay, you know you've chosen the right microphone. Important thing, at this point, you must have headphones on. You can't go on the air if you don't. There'll be too much reverb. If you hear yourself and you see yourself, you click those two buttons and click I pass, put me on the air. Now, if by chance you don't have a webcam or you're too shy to go on the air, but you have a microphone and headphones, you see I've clicked only I hear myself. I'll click it again so you can see it. And it says I pass, put me on DARPA TV on audio only, which is really good if you don't have a webcam or you're shy. In this case, I'm going to click I see myself and I hear myself because I've got both, and that's really the point of this video. Click that. You'll notice now you're in the upper right corner. You're ready to go on the air. When the host calls on you, it will change from where it says in call queue to live caller, and you'll know that you're on the air. It's that simple. I hope you'll consider doing this and taking part in my show or Joel's show or any of the shows on DARPA TV. You can have a lot of fun doing this. That's it. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always send me a message on Twitter at Kevin Canessa or by email at kevincanessa@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hope to see you on the show soon. It is 36 past the hour. Canessa back with you here on KC and 60 on DARPATV.com. Certainly glad you decided to join us tonight. Special welcome, of course, again to Chris Fitzpatrick, my high school classmate, and to everybody who is here, including Rodzilla, who we haven't seen in a while. I'm glad you're here, too, and your brother Matthew, and I wish I could get you on the air, for God's sake, Rodzilla. We used to be partners, for crying out loud, almost. I mean, I don't know, it's been very difficult. We've been back here for a month, and you've been on the air with me once, Rodzilla, and you've abandoned me, and you have just basically told me that I don't exist anymore. And I guess that's probably because you're so big now at Buffalo Wild Wings. You're just too busy to spend any time here anymore. You were like, you were my clone backbone back in the day, and now you've just completely abandoned me. And you use snow and work as an excuse all the time. I mean, good Lord, Rodzilla, get your head out of your ass and get on the air with me one of these days. I miss you, buddy. Okay, now that I'm done with that. Derek Jeter is finally retiring. And it could be really easy for me to sit here and say, the guy's an SOB, the guy's an idiot, the guy's a jerk, the guy's a moron, but there's no way possible that any decent and good person who is a fan of baseball of any kind could ever legitimately say that Derek Jeter was a detriment of any kind to the game of baseball. I despised him from 1996 on. I despised him never more than in 2000, when the Mets and the Yankees played in the World Series, and it just seemed like every time he was at bat, he found a way to screw the Mets, including game number 5. Maybe it was game 4, but he led off one of the games. I think it was game 5. He led off with a home run. But the truth of the matter is, folks, that Derek Jeter will go down, in my estimation, and I'd love to know what you think about this, as one of the greatest baseball players I have ever had the privilege of seeing play. And when I say I'm so glad that he's retiring, I mean it, because he was such a Met killer. In the small amount of times that they played each other, it wasn't even funny. But everything that Derek Jeter did was right. He never had controversy with media. He never went out and got caught with hookers or with drugs or with a gun in his waistband. Everything he did with class. And everything he did it as a gentleman. And I'll never forget this. When I was living in Kearney a long time ago, back in 1997 when I just graduated from college, I was working at Sunset Deli for some extra cash. And Derek's uncle, Bob Tiedemann, used to come in all the time to the deli, and he always reminded everybody that he was Derek Jeter's uncle. Because what a lot of people forget, that even though Derek Jeter is from Kalamazoo, Michigan, he spent many, many years of his life as a kid in North Arlington, New Jersey. His grandfather was a janitor at Queen of Peace High School. So Derek has a very, very strong connection to North Arlington and to Kearney. He spent many times at his Uncle Bob Tiedeman's house in Kearney. And let me tell you, it used to drive me crazy when his uncle would come in. I just want to say, okay, can't you just be happy that the kid's your nephew? Do you have to rub it into everybody's face, especially Mets fans, that this wonderful baseball player is your nephew? But I understand it. You think about it. You know, he really and truly is and was one of the greatest players. I don't like, though, when I hear somebody like Mike Francesa say that he's the best Yankee of all time. I don't even think he's in the top 5 all-time great Yankees. But when it comes to at least of this generation, there's no question he was. There's no question that everything he did was right. And the truth of the matter is that number 2 will probably be retired quicker than you can blink, and it deserves to be retired. He really should be retired, that number. And I don't quite understand how there could actually be somebody who would not want to vote this guy in to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. It's funny, Timmy Gillette said the same name that I thought. Like, hey, listen, Dan Le Batard would be the one who didn't, but this guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. He absolutely deserves to have his number retired, and I think there will be a lot of very relieved fans of not just the New York Metropolitans that he's finally retiring, because, look, he killed everyone. He really did. I don't know if there's a team in the American League, or perhaps even in the National League, that he didn't really just leave a mark on. Billy, you might tell me, because I don't know. They didn't play the Phillies all that much, but I wonder what his statistics are against the Philadelphia Phillies. But no matter what, this is a guy who just did it right. He always did it with class. And, somewhere A-Rod is sitting back and thinking, man, this is what I wanted. I wanted to have that tour of Major League stadiums. And, that's going to probably irk the crap out of me, too, just like it did when... Actually, it didn't really irk me with Mariano with the Mets, but I really do think if the Mets wind up giving him a gift or whatever, this farewell tour, it's going to drive me crazy. And it's going to happen, but, listen, if there's anybody who deserves it, it's Derek Jeter. So this is it for him. I'll be interested to see. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he had a monster year this year. I really wouldn't. And God forgive me for saying this as a fan of the New York Metropolitans. I suppose if it were poetic, he'll go out winning the World Series in his final year. I don't want that to happen, but I do really think it wouldn't surprise me if Derek Jeter fielded the last out of the 2014 World Series and threw it to first. That's just the way it is. It's almost like it's destiny for that to happen. And so this man who's played baseball since part of 1995 is finally going to retire. 20 seasons. This guy was something else. We were lucky to see him, and boy am I glad he's finally going away. Let's try to get to Rodzilla. We audio only here, brother. No good. Unfortunately, Rodzilla and his audio and video just doesn't seem to want to work. He did try to come back, and he did try to get into the chat room, but it didn't work for some reason. Rodzilla, you want to give it one more chance and see, since you were sitting in the queue there for a while, maybe if you come back, it'll work. Or, if you want, you know what? If this doesn't work, I have another alternative. Rodzilla. Nope, this doesn't seem to be working. Rodzilla, do me a favor. Why don't you give me a call on my mobile number so we can talk on the phone? I have the phone set up if you get a chance. I don't know if you have your phone nearby, but if you do, just give me a ring and we could certainly talk on the phone and do it that way, since this doesn't seem to be working all that well. Now, I was watching CNN the other day, and if any of you know anything about me, and I don't mean to just switch topics really quick, but I'm going to, because I've said my piece about Derek Jeter. Maybe we'll talk to Rodzilla about it. But the most incredible video I've seen in a long time, I have a terrible, terrible fear of heights. More so a fear of open spaces. I can go to the top of the Empire State Building and be fine out there because there's the bars that surround it. But if those bars weren't there, I would be like, I wouldn't be able to move. You can dial the 505 number too. Yeah, that'll work, Rodzilla. But you just take away those bars and forget about it. I don't know how you guys have if you have any of these fears of heights, but I saw this incredible video on CNN of the window washers who wash the windows of the tallest building in the world. I'm going to show you a video on the other side, but let's go to Rodzilla, who is in Rockaway, New Jersey. Hello, Rodzilla.
Hello, Mr. Canessa. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, despite this snow that we got.
How many inches did you get in Rockaway?
I want to say probably going about 17, 18 maybe right now.
Really? And it's supposed to go for another couple of hours, yes?
It's like we're in a whole big world of shit.
That bad, huh?
And there's nowhere for it to go.
Wow. I mean, are you sick of it at this point?
I mean, this is how I felt when we had the storm last year and were literally paralyzed and couldn't go out of the house.
Yeah,
bad. But luckily, we went out for dinner, had some nice Italian food. You know, they did some pretty good job plowing the roads, but I mean, it's horrible.
So what'd you eat?
I had some we had a pasta dish and we had some pizza. It was real good. The only Italian place that was around.
Wow. So Rodzilla and the Rodzilla family decided to go out and risk it in Rockaway, New Jersey with 18 inches of snow on the ground. But for Italian food, I guess it's worth the risk, isn't it?
For anything, just the fact of getting out of the house and having to look at that snow.
Truly. Did Buffalo Wild Wings close today?
Yes, we were not open. One of the managers sent a message at 12:30 and said we're closed.
Good. They did the right thing.
Which is shocking because we're like the post office.
Really? That bad, huh?
Yeah, we hardly ever close.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to get right to Derek Jeter before I forget. How much did you cry when you heard that he was retiring?
I mean, it was sad, but after all the injuries that he suffered from last year and just watching his teammates, I think in his heart, he knew it was done.
So you really think it was the right thing for him to do? Or how much is he going to be missed? There's really nobody in the pipeline right now, talent-wise, to replace him. I mean, this is going to be a huge void for Brian Cashman to have to fill, isn't it?
Derek Jeter retiring is like when Babe Ruth left baseball. That's how big of an impact he had on the Yankees and the whole fan base.
So what's going to happen? What are they going to do?
I don't know, but let's put that this way. They have a lot of money invested into the stadium there, and they have to find a way to get players, and they spend a lot of money on the players this year, but the problem is, how are you going to convince fans to spend the money?
Not an easy thing to do, but I think he did a pretty good job of spending Yankee money, did Brian Cashman, over this winter, don't you think? I mean, it almost sounds to me like you're saying they're not doing enough over the last couple of years, and they're going to have to when Jeter is gone. Am I misinterpreting what you're saying here?
What I'm saying is, yes, they did a lot of good this offseason and getting a lot of veteran guys, but the problem is, when you have a guy like Rivera retire and leave, and then a guy like Jeter to leave, there's no face of the franchise. They're not going to say, oh yeah, come see your team out. They're not going to spend money and go see Jacoby Ellsbury.
Oh, you bring up a good point. Who becomes the face of the Yankees? Let's just say hypothetically, right, Rodzilla, that he wants to do this all from within at the end of the 2014 season, going into the 2015 season. Who on the Yankees is the new face of the franchise? An honest question. Is there anybody really?
I guess you would have to say, with all the experience and number of years, you have to say CC Sabathia.
But a pitcher is not...
It would have been probably Curtis Granderson, but he left to the Mets. But he had that kind of personality.
Yeah, you're right. But the thing is, very rarely is a pitcher the face of the franchise. Tom Seaver's an example of one who was, but do you really look to your greatest leadership and things like that out of a pitcher? Or is the bottom line here that Brian Cashman has got to go out and he's going to have to really bring in a face that will be for the face of the franchise?
I think the problem is finding that young guy in the organization, someone that's not found, and the Yankees have some scouts that know about this person that's going to be in the organization for 20 years and have the type of career that Jeter has. You're just not going to find it.
Talking to our buddy Rodzilla in Rockaway, New Jersey. Rodzilla, this new Yankees pitcher from Japan spent $200,000 to charter a plane from Japan to New York. Was that ridiculous, or was that kind of cool?
I think it was sort of like what happened when Matsui came in. It was one of those coming in on that plane like a rock star. And if he's anything like what Yu Darvish was for Texas, then the Yankees will definitely gain their money well spent. But if you look at the Yankees' history, they haven't had a whole good list of Japanese players.
Matsui would be the exception to the rule, but
right.
What do you think about these Japanese stars, where they put out this ridiculous amount of money just to negotiate with them? I mean, is that insane in and of itself, too?
It is, but I think that's the way these teams, like the Japanese teams, want to negotiate with American players.
Good point. Now, you said, turning to the Olympics, that you're not watching it. Are you not even going to watch the hockey portion?
I mean, I'm fortunate because I work in a place that covers sports 24/7. You know, I'll watch every once in a while, but I mean, I watched the women's hockey. The game was like 5-1. Not to say that there aren't any professionals in there and any skilled players, especially in the men's, which is that's the case. But I just can't get into the Winter Olympics at all. Summer Olympics, yes, but
well, back in 2010, you and I used to talk about curling, and we sort of mocked it. And there's many instances of videos out there of the two of us kind of making fun of curling. But I seem to remember you saying that you sort of liked curling 4 years ago. Not anymore, huh?
Well, the way I look at curling, it's basically archery. You have to get the
bowl
thing that they fling down, the ball, whatever, down the ice, and get into the target.
Yeah. So you're just not into it anymore?
No, I mean, it's boring.
What's going on with these short answers today between you and Timmy Gillette, like just stopping in the middle of a sentence? What the hell is going on? I don't understand it.
I think I got snow freeze or something.
I mean, seriously, the two of you are like distracted. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Oh, it was the delay. I forgot about that. But for Godzilla, there is no delay. This is instantaneous, isn't it?
We got no delay. I'm talking on the phone.
I know. There is no delay here. I wasn't sure maybe you were listening to me through the computer or something.
No, I mean, I have the headphones on, but I'm still talking to you through the phone.
That's pretty darn cool. So what else is going on, Rodzilla? I haven't really talked to you in the last 3 weeks. Is everything else okay in your happy little world?
Yeah, everything's good besides this disastrous weather, but, you know, I've been busy working. I have, you know, pretty much 2 days off during the week where I'm off Tuesday and Friday. But every other day, you know, I work at night, and then the weekend I pretty much work all day and night.
Wow. Is there any chance that we might see a Rodzilla experience here on DARPA TV anytime? I know you did one a couple of weeks ago. How about another one?
I mean, like I said, it's a lot of work, like you said, with what Mama did, but, you know, your lips to God's ears, hopefully there will be one.
I hope there is, because quite frankly, I miss it. And you're not going to believe this. You ready for this?
I'm listening.
It has been 4 years since 3 Guys and 1 Cup. The anniversary passed just the other day. 4 years ago. Do you believe that?
I can't believe it's actually in my mind.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago. I mean, it seemed like it was just the other day, for crying out loud. Your brother was, like, drunk or something. I mean, he was just totally blitzed, even though we know he didn't drink or do anything. But he was just so hyper. Remember how nuts he was that day?
That was definitely one crazy show.
That was one of the funniest days ever. It really was. We had Italian food that night, too.
I believe we did.
Boy, Rodzilla is bringing absolutely no juice to the table tonight, but I always appreciate you calling. What did I do? Why are you being so mean to me tonight?
I don't know what happened. Like, I stepped in the chat room, it's like, Deja vu.
I do it for you, Brad.
Hey, Matt, what's going on with your brother? Seriously, is your brother in a bad mood or something?
Hi, Cap.
Hello, Matt.
I was abducted by aliens when I was younger.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right. Well, Rodzilla, seriously, I miss you, buddy. I hope you come back again, and I hope you do a show soon, because I want to be there if you do it, all right?
And we'll also hopefully do a show. I don't know why my video wasn't working. I tried figuring out, but we'll figure out the bugs.
That sounds good. And give my best to Matt and Eric, will you, please?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, brother. Talk to you later.
Have a good night.
Okay, good night, buddy. There he is, Rodzilla, calling in live from Rockaway, New Jersey. And I don't know what the hell it is, but I don't know. Maybe it is the delay, but I don't know. I was sitting here listening to answers, and all of a sudden it was like dead silence. Like, you're really done? I mean, God, what is it with people trying to screw with me tonight? I didn't do anything. Man, 56 past the hour, and I hope you know I'm only kidding when I say these things, because I just like to come along as cantankerous and cranky once in a while, if you don't mind. It's part of my whole spiel, and if I don't do that, something would be wrong. And that's going to do it for this edition of KC in 60. This just flew by. Live Feed USA has an announcement. Oh, ouch, Tim. What do we got? 21.7 inches of snow in Fairfax. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow. Wow. Just be careful, please. Mawa says she won't be able to broadcast tonight. I guess the internet, the snow's hitting on the internet wires, so she won't be able to broadcast tonight. So she's not going to be doing a show tonight. So don't watch her show tonight, because if you do, you'll be the only one there. But don't forget, coming up in a couple of minutes, I have no idea if there's going to be a Chop Shop TV, because I have no idea if Jay and Ward could get from their place to the studios in Queens. So it may not be on, so who knows. But I do want you to at least give it a check at 8 o'clock, since Mawa's not doing a show tonight. I mean, this is just ridiculous, the way things are just coming together here. I mean, boy, oh boy. Oh, man, I'm in a bad mood. This shouldn't be. I mean, this is ridiculous. It really is. Mama decides at 7:57 she's not going to do a show. I mean, come on. At any rate, I'm just playing anyway. That is it for the move the studio to Scottsdale. Yes, it'd be a little bit. It's certainly warmer there, Bill, because it's going to be 42 here tonight. We're wearing a sweater. That'll do it for here tonight on KCN60. I want to thank each and every one of you for being part of the program tonight. Good to see you, Chris, and everyone else, Mama and Bertika, who is here as well. Not totally inundated with snow. Timmy, be careful out there, too. And, of course, Rodzilla and Matt, too, for coming in. And every one of you. I really appreciate it. I will be back on Monday for the next edition of KC in 60 here on DARPATV.com. I'm always grateful to each and every one of you for being here. But from Port St. Lucie, Florida, that'll do it for tonight. And have a good night, everybody. Stay warm, stay dry, and stay out of the snow. See you later.